Hello and welcome everyone on our interesting short course that's SAP. You must have heard the name of SAP and ERP software, which is often used by many companies, right, for recording. So this particularly a course is all for the beginners, those who are beginning their career in accounting, right? Because I myself is an accountant, so therefore I will be applying this particular course to all of you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our interesting short course of a very famous software. Right? It's a very famous software whose short course is being offered by us, and that is SAP. We'll be discussing in this class, today's orientation class. We'll be discussing what particularly this software offers, what we're gonna be covering in particularly this course, and for whom this course is valid, right? So as far as those who are viewing this class, I believe that most of you should be or from and commerce related or accounting related fields, right? The reason is that I myself is an accountant, so therefore I will be teaching you how to use this software through an accountant's aspect, right? So therefore you should be related to commerce or an accounting field so that I can explain the particular modules of the software. Sir, first thing that we need to know is that what exactly this software is, right? I will be teaching you that what we are doing, what we are going to do in the software, and then I'll be showing you, or I'll be allowing you to use particularly this software, right? The thing is that first we need some basic informations of particularly this course, and then we can obviously go and live and practically do things on this software, right? So if I am supposed to write the full form of the software, it's quite easy, right? SAP. The full form of this software is Systems, Applications, right? And Products in Data Processing. So now, guys, this particular software, that SAP, that's really a famous one, right? That's a famous software and used by many companies, right? You must be knowing, and in fact, you are from the corporate world, so you must have used this software as well, right? So used by many companies. This software is going to be taught in this particular short course. Uh, the thing is that's a why we should be studying this source, right? Why we should be taking this course. Are there kind of a certification, or why is it necessary to have these skills? So I'll be explaining all the things, right? First, let me write down the question, and then I'll let you know that why you should, or you must have a knowledge of any ERP based software or an Oracle based software. So why we should learn SAP? One of the question, right? Why we should be learning SAP? So, guys, believe me, if you are an existing student of mine, or if you know about myself, I am a trainer. I have done ACCA, I have done ICAEW, and I have done BSc, right? As far as in my education grounds, I have done these, right? But after completing ACCA, when I went into the corporate world, right? When I went into the corporate world, I realized that I'm nothing. I believed that I have done ACCA. I know the toughest and the complex accounting treatments and each and everything. But when I went into the corporate world, they show me the reality that, dear, you are nothing. Because in that corporate world, I got an idea that it's not just the books that lead us to the success. right? It's not just the books that lead us to the success. You should be having the other certifications or the other skills apart from having the technical knowledge that have been taught here, right? You should be having a greater level of knowledge as well of these topics, but you should be having a real life hands-on practice on some of the softwares, on some of the skills. So you should be developing particularly the skills that are required in the corporate world, right? And at that time, like 4 to 5 years back, I was null that how I should be proceeding, what I should be doing. I exactly didn't knew an idea, right? Although I was an ACCA. So, guys, if you are going to start your corporate career, if you are going to particularly do certain practices or go in an entity where the SAP is done, so it would take a lot of time to learn exactly the SAP and its modules and each and every one, right? So the thing is that as far as this course is concerned, through my 5 years of corporate experience, I'll be teaching you all the things that I have gone through in all the 5 years of SAP, because I was inducted in that particular department where SAP implementation, I won't be saying implementation, I'll be saying that SAP installment and the things that needs to be uploaded on the systems were major parts. So therefore I had a greater experience, right? So I was just telling you the story that when I did this, I went into into the corporate world and I realized that I am nothing, right? And books cannot get me success. So therefore what helped me, the things that helped me, that I learned a lot SAP. I learned a lot financial modeling, and one of the particular the Excel skills, like making dashboards. Now these all are related to the softwares, right? And therefore, I decided that once I'll be enabled, so I'll be making these short courses for all the aspiring accountants as well as other people, so that they should be starting from the right start rather than spending a lot of time in learning these things. They should be doing the right start, right? So therefore, I had already a course named as financial modeling where I've guided that how you can link up with the Excel, you can make the dashboards, you can make the things. And in this today's class, I'll be guiding about the SAP, that what should be learned, right? So is it clear that when you are an accountant in real, you should be having knowledges of these, and not just limited to these things, right? You have plenty of other courses, and the plenty of other courses gives you other skills which are preferred by the employer, right? So, sir, why should we doing, or why should we learn SAP, right? It enhances your employability. Of course, it enhances your employability because you won't be learning the software at that place. You have learned it before. You won't be learning it, right? You have learning, or you have learned that software before, right? So it enhances your employability. Apart from that, the practical knowledge. So far, what you have seen, so far, what you have seen making double entries, then you have made trial balances, ledgers, I'll be saying, right? And then you have also made trial balance as well. But you have done all these things, right? But you have done all these things on paper. Now, in this course, these all things will be taught you on system, right? I'll be writing the contents of this course, don't worry. I'll be writing the contents as well, but these all things will be told you on system, that how exactly you're gonna be, that how exactly you're gonna be making these double entries, making these ledgers, making these trial balances on systems, right? How exactly you can do it, huh? So that means this course give you the practical exposure, like the things that you have studied. but you haven't applied in your journey, you can apply it from this course, right? You can apply it from this course. So why we should learn SAP? It enhances our employability. It gives our practical knowledge and exposure. And one more thing, that it enhances your CV as well, right? CV. Why? Because in your CV, you'll be telling that you know that modules of SAP. So it enhances your profile, right? Of course, because see, if I am hiring you, and if I'm realizing that this guy knows SAP as well, so you seems to be a plug and play, hire it and just plot that in the seed, and he'll be running all the software by its own. So that means you'll be understanding the entity only in which you are hired rather than the systems there, because you are familiar with the system, right? And obviously, there are certain and many modules, but my course will be limited to the module that I have worked in, because that's particularly the major one and the expertise that I carry, right? So there are certain benefits of it. And yes, once you have learned this course, I can tell you that you can go to the employers and ask that you know about that module, because you have already practiced it a lot, right? So in this course, you will be taught and you'll be given notes. Apart from that, you'll be also given the practical implementation. Like, we'll be using SAP Live, the pictures that I have extracted, right? We'll be using these things, right? And how these dashboards are made, like this summarized picture that's presented to the seniors and everyone. So we'll be guiding you throughout this course, right? Now, sir, what are the contents? Like, what we should be expecting from this course? What are the contents, right? So guys, see, if I talk about SAP's modules, huh? If I talk about SAP's modules, so there are certain modules that you should be knowing, and this course lies on certain specific modules, right? So the modules that we gonna be using it, or we're gonna be telling you, let us write the complete ones, right? FI, CO, MM, SD. Yeah, HR and PP. So what does that means? Can tell us? So yeah. Financial accounting, controlling, material management, right? Sales and distribution. Then it's human resources. And then this is production planning. So these are some of the modules that I have worked in, right? These are some of the modules that I have worked in. Now, the thing is that for all the accountancy students, or the students, those who have opted commerce, the relevant one are these two, right? The relevant one, particularly modules, are these two, and a slight discussion on these two modules, right? And a slight discussion on these two modules, whereas these two won't be taught in this course because we do not belong to this. The production planning is somehow relevant to the material management, right? But ultimately, the objective of this course, which I have designed to give you enough idea and give you all the transaction codes of financial accounting and controlling, right? So these are the two that we'll be discussing completely, right? And then we have two modules that we'll be discussing slightly, right? So these are certain modules of SAP. But once, let me assure you that if you have taken these classes, I believe that you'll be enough to work in any company working on these modules. You'll be knowing that's what and how exactly you have to post the entry, how exactly you have to post the materials, how exactly you need to upload the materials, how you're going to be opening and vendor and all that. So I will be letting you and knowing you how this complete cycle operates, right? So the content here will be that these are the modules that we'll be covering, and let me list down that from start to end, what is going to be taught, right? If we go here, see from the very beginning, I'll be giving, like after this class, you will be told that how SAP is operated, right? SAP login, infrastructure, tabs. These are some basic informations, right? Infrastructure, tabs, all basic information will be covered, right? All basic information will be covered. And once you are familiar with this, so we'll directly start from the basics here. And what are the basics that you will be told? That's a how to create a customer, right? How to create a customer account on SAP. Similarly, how to create a vendor account on SAP. You will be told like this, right? And then how to create a material account on SAP, right? So how to create a customer account, how to create a vendor account, how to create a material account, then how to create a ledger, like a general ledger, right? How to create it, how you can monitor it. So these all will be done live in front of you on the softwares, right? These all will be done live in front of you on the software, right? These all will be done live in front of you on the software. So, sir, if we have done this, right? If we have done this, then what we'll be learning then? Then we'll move on to FICO module. Now, once we have operated in this FICO module, so you will be told about chart of accounts, like how a chart of accounts is made. Now, why it is important, sir, to know the chart of accounts? See, being an accountant or being a future accountant, you must have an idea of the ledgers, of T accounts, and of all that. But while implementing SAP in a company, when you are going to surely implement a software in a company, you should be having a good chart of account that covers every aspect of this company, right? Every aspect, in fact, the future needs as well from this software, right? In fact, the future needs as well in terms of accounting. So guys, from the FICO module, like the finance, accounting, and controlling, from this module, you'll be first told and lively shown of a sample company that how chart of accounts are made, right? You'll be lively showed a sample company that how chart of accounts are made, right? So once you have got the chart of accounts, so what I'll be doing, I'll be guiding you that how you can post entries, like the double entries you guys used to make, right? How you can post entries, right? And once entries are posted, so there are certain other things, right? Like there can be and rights of viewing these entries. There can be a rights of amending these entries, like if someone has the rights, so they can be amending these entries, right? And then there are certain change amending these entries or viewing these entries or deleting. So I'll be telling you all that. Yeah, obviously your accounting concepts should be clear. If you're not good in double entries, so you cannot expect to make yourself good while implementing those on softwares, right? So you are not supposed to do that. Okay, so you're not supposed to do that, but yeah, these will be things that you will be taught, right? And once you are good enough with how you can post entries, once you are good enough, like you should be knowing about the transaction codes, right? Here in this area, the T codes are entered. Huh? Here in this area, the T codes are entered. So you will be known as that how to enter a T code. So I'll be letting you these all commands like making or showing chart of accounts and how you can post double entries. These all commands require T codes, right? These all commands require T codes. So these are the T codes that we're gonna be telling you that how you can run this command, how you can run this command, how you can run this command, run this command, and run this command, right? So these are the software things that we're gonna be taught. We're gonna be teaching you, and obviously discover a practical experience as well. Yeah. So FICO module, at first we'll be doing chart of accounts, then how you can post entries. And once we have made a particular month entries, then we'll go on to see the view trial balance, right? And ultimately, once we have seen trial balance, then there will be P&L and balance sheet as well. So this will be a particular journey of FICO module, right? Now you cannot say that, sir, these are just the 3 steps, because while learning these steps, you will be having the multiple explanations of multiple impacts, right? Because there are certain entries which are directly made. There are certain entries that are directly made in GL account, the general ledger. Whereas, right, there are these are called as manual entries, right? These are called as manual entries. And then there are certain entries that are made via vendor, customer, and materials account. Now, sir, how does that mean? How and what does that mean? See, if you're directly making an entry, right? If you're directly making an entry, that is known as JV, general voucher. So I'll be telling you how to make a JV, how to make the general vouchers, right? And if you are directly have the customer account, vendor account, material account, and if you use the customer account, so it will directly record the sales, right? If you're using the customer account, so it will directly record the sales. If you're using the vendor account, it will directly record the purchases. If you're using the material account, it will directly record the production impact and the COGS impact. So that means you will be told how you can post the general vouchers and how you can do the automatic entries. Now, this is one of the benefits of SAP, right? This is one of the benefits of any ERP software, that you can do both the manuals as well as these. Now, sir, how much this course or what time this course require, right? What time this course requires? So standard time of this course with practically solving things on SAP, the standard time would be around 30 hours, right? The 30 hours in which around 80% of the time will be made on SAP while using SAP. 80% of the classes you'll see that I'll be doing all these things, right? And yeah, there will be certain discussion on material management and S&D, like on these modules, like making some uploads, doing some certain figures. We'll be using the FICO as well as MM and ST. And you just don't think that these are just 4 modules. These 4 modules itself can have hundreds of hours of practice, But since this is the course for beginners, so I'll be saying that you must have a good idea of all this, and then you go into the corporate and you have enough experience of using the practical SAP, so you can ask your employer that you don't need to get me trained on SAP. Just tell me about your business and industry, and I'll do the things here, right? Yeah. So we discussed the initial grounds of this software, SAP systems, applications, and products in data processing. I told you why we should learn SAP, right? So a lot of students also require that, sir, whether there will be a certificate or not, right? So yeah, once you have done that, so our institution would also provide a certificate as well, right? But certificate would be mentioning that you have worked on FICO, ST, and MM modules, right? So you know about these modules, a basic learning mechanism, right? Then contents, you know about financial accounting, controlling, material management, sales and distribution, and these two are the modules that an accountant doesn't need, right? But someone doing the human resources, someone doing kind of a payroll or doing these type of works might be using this, right? But for specifically for the HR, but these are certain modules that we will be discussing, right? uh, I told you how we'll start pretty with the basics, right? And we would be doing particularly from the customer, vendor, material accounts, incorporating the ledgers there. Then we'll do the have a review of chart of accounts, how you can post entries, and yeah, in chart of accounts, how you can create a ledger. You will also get to know that, right? How you can create a ledger, right? So you'll also get to know that as well. And then the trial balance, P&L, balance sheet, uh, entries that are directly made in GL account, the manual entries, and the journal vouchers. We'll be discussing that, right? Now, in particularly, I told you that it's a 30 hours course, right? In which 80% of the time we'll spend on SAP, right? And so in these 30 hours, what we'll do, we'll learn transaction codes. Now, a lot of students don't know about that. What are transaction codes? See, if you are an accountant and you have a basic idea of double entry, that how debit and credits are posted. So while working on SAP or any software, right, there are multiple accounting softwares. If I would be mentioning here that there are multiple softwares that an accountant should learn, and I'm teaching you this one, SAP, right? One is Oracle, one is Tally. This is also an accounting software. One is Zero, I guess, and then there's SAP as well. But yeah, the most famous one, what we have heard, is SAP, because it's too much user friendly. And if something is user friendly, that needs to be learned, right? Because most of the entities are preferring those who have an initial ground on SAP. So continuing here, that we have the we want to post the entry, so we cannot just open the SAP, like we cannot just open the screen and write or say to SAP that please post this entry. You cannot do this, right? You have to dial a transaction code. You have to dial a transaction code here. Now, a transaction codes, there's a list, but obviously this includes a lot. I will also be teaching you the transaction codes that are required in daily use of an accountant, right? That are required in daily use of an accountant. So the T codes that you need to incorporate or you need to place, you will be taught this as well. Now, think of your profile that a guy who is an ACC affiliate but do not know SAP, do not know Excel, and a guy like you, those who know about financial modeling, basic Excel, those who know about SAP, they will also, and they will be prevailing, they will be prevailing with those people, those who haven't got that, right? Those who haven't got these particular certifications with them. So this will provide you an initial ground to start, and obviously that determines your growth as well, right? So being an accountant, you are very good right? If you're an accountant, I will be writing it. If you're an accountant, you will be very good with reporting, costing, and everything, right? But if you know the SAP, you will learn that how costing or reporting is done on SAP. So this is the thing, right? You know this complete cycle, but you do not know that how you can cost your material on SAP, like the module I told you now, material management, in which your products are costed. And similarly, you know about budgeting, huh? You know about budgeting, but you do not know how this operates or how budgeting is done on SAP. When because I belong to the department that used to make the budgets of a complete entity, so the budgets are made with the assumptions, but these assumptions need to be done on the SAP so that you can track your performance. Now think of it. Huh? If I give you an Excel and I told you that track the business performance, if I give you an Excel and I told you that track the business performance manually on the Excel, so what you will be doing, you'll be plotting the budgets, then you'll be plotting the actual result, right? Let me make it for you. Huh? Let me make it for you. So if in order to track business performance, right? In order to track business performance, what you guys will do. Huh? If I asked you, you'll open up the Excel, right? You'll open up the Excel, you'll plot the actual results, then you will compare it with the budget, or you'll compare with the last year, and then variances with budget, and then variances with actual. What you do, you used to put numbers here, you guys used to put numbers here, right? And then manually track performance, right? And then manually track performance. What you used to do in today's world if you are an accountant. But with the help of, right? But with the help of these accounting softwares, right? The manual work is eliminated. Huh? The manual work is eliminated with these accounting softwares. This complete format is readily available on SAP. You just have to record your entries. The actual numbers would be made by yourself. The budgeted numbers would be made by SAP. The last year numbers are already feeded on SAP. The variances would be calculated by SAP. So you just have to analyze the reasoning. An accountant's role in today's world is to analyze numbers, right? In accountant's role is not to make the numbers. The numbers are made here, guys. Yeah, the understanding behind the numbers is yours, right? The understanding behind the numbers is yours, but you should be analyzing the numbers, right? You should be knowing the reasons. This is your role, not to calculate the numbers. Huh? You should be knowing reasons. You should be thinking of strategies. You should be thinking of strategies. You should be thinking of company's growth. So these accountant roles or these softwares like SAP, which will eliminate the need of manual work, would automatically divert an accountant to focus on these roles. If you have a good grip on this particular software, so that means your manual work would be eliminated. And if your manual work is eliminated, so you want to be, or you can be focusing on these numbers, right? So everything like this was just an example, requires a transaction code, right? So we'll be learning the list of T codes, and yes, I'll be giving you a tutorial as well, that how you can operate, right? That how you can operate these courses, right? Or these transactions. Now think of it. When you used to be a paper accountant, when you used to be a paper accountant, what happens is that you guys used to make a double entry, and then T account, and then trial balance, and then P&L and balance sheet. But on systems, you just need to do the sales and purchases and record the entries, right? You just have to record the entries. Those entries are being automatically converted on P&L and balance sheet. So can you give us the example? Yeah, see. The accountant, in terms when there was so much paperwork and manual work, what happens? The entries were used to make the ledgers, T accounts, then they used to be posted on trial balance, then P&L, then balance sheet, then cash flow. Now, in SAP, what happens? In SAP, what happens? You just have to do this step either manually, right? Either manually or through customer, vendor, or material account. You have to do just this step. It would automatically go into GL. It would automatically go into trial balance. It would automatically reflect in P&L, automatically in balance sheet, and automatically in cash flow. So this is what you have been given an ease. While doing this, you have been diverted to just do this. And then once you have variance analysis ready, it's also in the system. Once you have variance analysis ready, what you have to do, you just have to think of the reasons, like the roles that I used to mention, right? The roles that I used to mention here, that this is what a company wants from you, not this, right? Not this. Although, sir, we have studied, yeah, but you are not born for doing these manual works, right? And would you guys believe that I realized this thing when I spent 2 to 3 years in a department of my company, and I was just shocked that my seniors were so much habitual of doing these works, that this seems to be a funny work, right? If someone is doing a manual work that used to uh, be a funny work, like what exactly they are doing, huh? So it's totally an automatic world, guys, and you need to upgrade it yourself, huh? You need to upgrade it yourself. And how you can upgrade yourself through doing these short courses, right? How you can upgrade yourself through doing these short courses, in which you learn about different skills. And I'm not just motivating you towards doing this just SAP. If you have time, you just have an idea of Oracle, you should have an idea of Tele, you should have an idea of Zero, right? And all of these softwares are kind of a similar nature. If you do a lot of practice on one, there's a high chance that you can easily work on these softwares as well, right? You can easily work on these softwares as well. So I believe that you guys have enough idea that how particularly this class or these classes would work, right? The questions that I've got from the chat box, I have also made the small notes of that so that I can you have been answered appropriately. One of the student has said that in 30 hours would the complete SAP be delivered? There you cannot even learn complete SAP for 10 years, right? They have too many modules, too many T codes. But yeah, what my aim of this course is that to grant you at a beginner level so that you have all the idea of the T codes in the FICO module and slight knowledge of MM and ST module so that you have an enough idea. That's how we can operated. And once you will be in the corporate world, you would be pleased that sir, we knows these basics, and we had an idea that how we can work towards it, right? So this obviously gives you a greater aspect. And lastly, it's related to SAP, right? So the people, those who have done BCom or are in kind of starting an accounting or ending an accounting qualification, they can join this, right? They can easily join this. It's all for the accountants, and more or less, I'll be talking all the technical aspects of accounting with the implementation on the practical software, right? So let me give you my number. If you guys have any queries, you can text me on my number. My number is 92 331 2623 849. My name is Abdul Basit. I gave you the intro earlier as well, right? And I myself is an accountant, an experienced trainer, and having different courses so that a student can upgrade their skills. Because in today's world, the one who is hardworking won't be succeeding that much. The one who is skillful, who knows the slight skills that an accountant should have, shall be successful and will be successful as well, right? So these are particularly the orientation this was, and it's my number. If you guys want to know about the details of enrollment and further questions, if you have, so you can contact me here. Otherwise, the classes and the schedule would be shared once you have enrolled. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.